back, everyone. Today we're going to take a look at the Stranger Things Upside Down from Cmon or Cmon or Cool Minis or Not, or however you refer to them now. This is something that came out, it's probably back in April, May. I pre-ordered it, got it in. I've even recorded a paint-up video, so I'm going to include that in the second half of this. All the links will be down below. This was probably purely a 80s nostalgia plus TV show suckered me in, and it's a good money grab on Cmon's part for sure. But let's take a quick unboxing, and we'll whip out some mini paint jobs here for you as well in the end, and see how it goes. So Stranger Things Upside Down is again retail. This wasn't a Kickstarter. Occasionally Cmon does that where they will put out a game straight to retail. It seems to be fairly rare in this age of Kickstarters though. The game has been compared to Horrified and Pandemic, if you're familiar with either of those two board games. And yeah, there are certainly elements of both those in there. So if you're into that style of game, you like the Stranger Things, theme, the TV show, then this game might be worth a check out for you. Definitely review some of the gameplay videos online. I'll try to link a few below. I'm not here for that. I'm just going to mostly do the painting and a quick unbox here. The rulebook is nice and simple, small, pretty well laid out, and clean. I read it through once or twice and was able to get enough of the game concepts down to kind of dive in and play through my first playthrough. Pretty standard. You got a small sheet there of punch outs to deal with. Another nice thing with this is the board size is not too bad folded out. I think we're around 19-20 inches here wide, so you don't need some massive table to play this, like maybe perhaps a Zombicide game from Cmon or something like that. So nice, tidy, standard small box game. So the minis were pretty small with this, probably one of the smallest minis I've had to deal with. So it was a little intimidating initially trying to think how I could even paint these, but we'll cover that here shortly in the second half. Get about 12 of them here. The top row there are the heroes, and then the bottom row are your various monsters from the actual TV show that you're competing against during this game. There was a surprisingly good amount of detail though for the minis being this small, so there is that going for it. For the price of the game, I think I paid around $30, 30 maybe 35, somewhere in that range at the time. So component wise, I'm pretty happy with what they included with this and the quality of the minis. It's kind of hard to see the overall quality here in this quick unboxing, but when we get to the painting section, you'll get a much more zoomed in and better look, and they definitely pop a little more once you get some speed paint and such on them. So stay tuned for that part here. So it comes with a bunch of these little tracker cards for the main characters as well. Got your main characters from the show like Mike Wheeler, Nancy Wheeler, you got Lucas, Dustin, Joyce, Jim Hopper. So pretty good mix of the cast. And 11 of course is in there. Now she is not a playable character right out of the box. She's kind of like a special power you can activate during the game, but if you go out to Cmon's website, there is actually a print yourself character card for her, so you can actually use her as a character at that point if you go print out that character sheet. So something to check out if you get the game and weren't aware. Go out to Cmon's website and you'll find it there for 11. I'm just going to punch these out real quick. They fit nicely in the little token tray there, so kudos to them. Very basic little box insert design, but gets the job done, and it's easy to organize and get all the components in. And these are basically, you're going to stack little stacks of these tokens face down. You mix them up and they all got various numbers, like, 1 to 3 on them. And these are kind of you're guessing the power of the creature you're going up again based on what tokens you've revealed, but you never know what the ones in the bottom of the stack are. So you're kind of having to pit how much you want to put up against one of these stacks when you go move to that spot. It's kind of a little bit of a guessing game there. So first up, we have Lucas Sinclair from the show. So for Lucas, here's a screenshot from the TV show and his game art. I decided to start with Warrior Skin. This is a Army Painter Speed Paint 2.0 skin color. Just did that on his face and anywhere he had skin on his hands, etc. For the shirt, I just went with Tidal Wave, also Army Painter Speed Paint 2.0. Just kind of a light blue based on the picture and the art. I decided to roll with that for the backpack. Come on, you had a denim backpack back then too, right? I know I did for a while. For his hair, I just did a Grim Black Army Painter Speed Paint. For Lucas's coat, here I just went with Bright Red from Army Painter Speed Paint. It's kind of a slightly orangey red when you look at it on here, so it kind of matched the artwork we had on the card and from some still shots from the TV show. I did Pallid Bone for his bandana, and the little grab strap at the top of the backpack there, so I hit it with that. I went back and tried to hit some of the zippers and different areas there with some matte white and highlight up some of the folds on the backpack, I guess. Kind of like a really light dry brushing there. Pants, I did a hardened leather and dark wood. I think some of the still shots I found online and watching the TV show, he had some brownish colored pants there, so I went with that. Shoes, I did Grim Black. Just try to leave the soles white. We'll go with some sort of a Converse shoe here or something. It's getting hard to remember what my shoes were back then. I don't have any good pictures. That's the problem with the 80s. You know, we didn't have cell phones and constant streams of pictures and videos would go by. So for Mike Wheeler, priming on these models, I just did white, as you can see here. So shaker can, nothing special. For Mike's pants, I went with Tidal Wave again for the blue. It's kind of a nice denim look. I went with Ruddy Fur for his hair. It's kind of I probably could have went a little darker there, but it's what we went with. Something brown. Again, these models are tiny. You're going to be looking at them from 2 feet away, so you're not really going to need to spend a lot of time trying to get details. Don't even bother trying to paint eyeballs or any of that crazy stuff. I mean, these are tiny. Not sure how to pronounce this one. Tyrion? I don't know. It's a blackish blue per Army Painter speed paint bottle, so I went with a darker blue for the backpack here. I also did his shoes in that color as well, and left part of the backpack there. It's basically white, unpainted. Came back here and just did a little touch up on the soles of the shoes. Anywhere where the speed paint got on the bottom, I wanted that to be the white rubber soles there. For his skin, I went with Crusader skin. That was one of the Army Painter Speed Paint 1.0 original colors, and I think I was actually using up some of my 1.0 bottle here, but 1.0 and 2.0 are pretty much identical with their pigments and their mix, so works whatever version you got. I decided to make his coat kind of a khaki color, so I went with bony matter for that. For the metal on the walkie-talkie there, I did broadsword silver. Again, all these are Army Painter Speed Paint colors. I went for the blue shirt with some Nuclear Sunrise orange stripes here, and then tied a wave blue again for the shirt color. Now you can see here on Jim the artwork again on these game cards. It's like they're throwing a pinkish red light on things, so it almost doesn't look khaki on his arms there. But here's a screenshot from the show as well. So for Jim Hopper, I didn't get the painting of the shirt uniform here, but that's just basically bony matter, that khaki color. For the hat, here's a still from the show. I couldn't go with the greenish color. I don't know, it looks more like a park ranger to me with that. So I went with a fire drake, kind of a orangey brown hat color instead. So, pick what you want. I did grim black for his belt and his work shoes there. I used Peachy Flesh, which is a new skin tone from Army Painter Speed Paint 2.0 series. Crusader skin was the only real skin tone you had in the first series, so I do like this one a little better. It's a little lighter, a little less orange. I'm going to utilize the Speed Paint Metallic Hoplite Gold. For his beard and hair, I went with Satchel Brown. So for 11, again, the card art from the game, it's like they've shined a reddish light, so it almost looks purple on her coat. But if you look at the TV show, I went with the standard blue coat and the pink dress. They stuck her in there for that first season. I went with Army Painter Speed Paint Familiar Pink and diluted it in a 1:2 ratio with Speed Paint Medium just to really lighten it up here. I didn't want it to be overpowering. Again, for the flesh, we just did peachy flesh. For the shoes, I wanted to try not just white this time, so I'm trying the Unholy White Speed Paint. Kind of a really light, washed out gray. And it looks like I missed the filming of her coat, which is just I chose a purple blue. And then I did her hair in hardened leather. I came back and did some Battleship Gray for some of the collars and such at the top. And a little more touch up of the pink on like the socks and such. For Dustin, same thing, white primed. Did some peachy flesh over that for the skin. Went with Holy White again on the shoes and the socks area there. Went with Cloudburst Blue again for his coat. Again, the artwork from the card there, you can see it almost makes it look like it's purple and red. So, I don't know. They had some artistic flavor going on here that I didn't really care for. Didn't really want to do khaki on his pants too, so I was trying something different here. I went with this Orker Clay. And then we went with the Caribbean Ocean for his nice blue shirt there. And some Oculus cloak for the shoes. And a little blood red on the bill of his hat. I left the front part of the hat white. And for Joyce, same again, peachy flesh. Keep it simple. For her leather jacket, the hardened leather is kind of a nice orangish brown, so I went with that for the leather jacket. Some satchel brown for her hair. I decided to also use that on the shoes as well. And we have what I think is Moody Mauve. It's a kind of a lighter purple, almost a magenta, I guess. But I went with that for her pants. Kind of went well with the hardened leather and the other colors on her. For the lights, yeah, you know, it's just a big ball of wires there. So I just put tidal wave all over it. Kind of just called it good. For Nancy, again, peachy flesh. Get all the hands and face with that. Came back and did poppy red for her jacket, trying to leave the collars untouched since they were already primed in white. I was just going to leave those as is. I went with a cultist cloak for her pants. I did a 1-to-1 warrior skin with fire drake for her hair color. Alright, for the growling dogs, as they refer to them in this, I was kind of trying a few different things here. Initially I tried Gravelord Gray with some speed paint medium, or you could just do some dark wash in the end when I saw the results. So either or would have been fine. I probably would dilute a dark wash with a little bit of water though, just to thin it down a little bit. For the inside of his mouth, when it's open like that and exposing all the teeth, I just did aged hide initially in there over everything. Painted over the teeth as well. I'll do some dry brushing later. So I thinned down some more of that ochre clay. It's kind of a yellowish green, I guess. I don't know, it worked for what I was doing here though. I was kind of just doing different layers of color on the backs, kind of highlighting things up with something, and then I do a couple different layers of things here, trying to create some interesting, characteristics and color on them. Again, these are tiny little models, and it's not like a big dollar Kickstarter game where you really want to put a lot of effort into them. These things are you're just bringing them to life a little bit here. That was my goal, just enough to add some flavor to the game and pull you into the Stranger Things setting a little bit more. So I went back and did a layer of Battleship Gray then over the top of that. Hopefully that will hit any spot where that yellowish color isn't, and kind of blend in with that as well. So it kind of brings some bluish and different tones in there in various spots. I went back and then did some dry brushing on the inside of those mouths where all the teeth are with some Army Painter normal war paints, Arid Earth. Once I'm done with the dry brushing, I decide to use some Dusk Red and try to darken up those edges a little bit around the perimeter of his open mouth, right? Try to give it some different red color there that's offsets it a little bit, but that dry brushing helps make that pop. It's almost like having a white base to go over. I try to bring that same color into the closed mouth on the juvenile version as well. The grooves in the mouth there to kind of represent that a bit. I decided to do bony matter for all the clawed feet on both the adult and juvenile model here. I didn't bother with any crazy basing. My standard, a little bit of matte medium mixed in with some black inks, acrylic ink, and I did all the bases for the good guys and the bad guys with that. So here is the final results on the characters you can play in the game. Here's a little pulled away, kind of what you'd expect to see from the tabletop. So again, they're small, you're not going to see a lot of the details, so keep it simple on these. That's my approach. Again, there was some detail decently on these models, the teeth and such. They did pretty good on the bad guys here. Again, from table distance, you know, you're not going to see a lot of those details, so I wouldn't invest too much time into it. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed. So it's just kind of a little quick one. I haven't decided what to call these ones. Peek and paint, unbox and paint, I don't know. I don't have any catchy phrase for just these quick little ones I do, but anytime I have a game with some minis and I decide to whip up a quick paint job, I'll try to throw a video out though, just to give people some ideas. That's all for now. See you soon.